Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to Network Chuck. Today I want to talk about your labs, your CCNA labs, your CCNP labs, hey, maybe even your CCIE labs. Deciding how you are going to lab is one of the biggest decisions you'll make when you decide how you're going to study for your CCENT, CCNA, CCNP, whatever, because that's going to be the key to your success. Not even joking, that is the primary thing you want to figure out. Hope you don't mind if I make some coffee while we're talking. One of the best labbing options out there is GNS3. Let me get this going here. Turn off the heat. If you don't know what GNS3 is, it's a software where you can actually simulate Cisco routers and Cisco switches and firewalls and actually a lot more than that. You can do Docker containers. You can basically lab up whatever you want. So if you're studying for your CCENT, you're studying for your CCNA or higher, you can pretty much do everything within GNS3. Now, I don't recommend GNS3 for beginners because it can be kind of a big hurdle. If you're not familiar with all the technologies involved, virtualization, even routers, it's kind of a huge hurdle to actually get started with GNS3. That's why I recommend for beginners Packet Tracer, and for a lot of things I still do. But I've got a different way you can use GNS3 now. Ever heard of the cloud? Right now for CBT Nuggets, I'm creating a Microsoft Azure course, which if you don't know what Microsoft Azure is, it's one of the biggest cloud providers. And what does a cloud mean? It means you're putting your servers, your routers, your switches, well, some of them, into the cloud, which is just somebody else's computer, really, when you get down to it. It's more than that, but that's what people like to say. Now, I've got an easy way, well, relatively easy way, for you, oh, it's really starting to bubble, for you to set up GNS3 in Azure. Time to add the coffee. Alexa, set a timer for 3 minutes.
3 minutes, starting now.
Now typically when you set up GNS3, you either set it up on your local computer, which might be your computer right here, or you set up on a remote server, which is cool. That's what I do. I have my data center and I have a server there with GNS3 on it. But you need a lot of compute power, a lot of resources. You need a lot of RAM, and you need some CPU to run some of these router images, especially if you're using viral images, which are Cisco router images you can download from Cisco's viral program if you purchase that. I highly recommend using viral images. They are amazing. Anyways, so the big problem is that not a lot of people have a beefy computer, a huge, awesome, massive computer with a ton of CPU and RAM, and they don't have a server in a data center like I do. So this is why I love the cloud. Because with the cloud, you can take any computer you want in the cloud and make it as big as you need it to be. It's awesome. That's called scaling up, or adding resources to a server, or you can even do like a Windows 10 computer in the cloud. Now here's the kicker, the most amazing part about this. Yes, Microsoft Azure, as well as any other cloud provider, does cost money. That's why businesses use that, and that's their business. However, they do have a free trial, a free tier for people like you and I who want to test things out. Specifically for Azure, you get $200 of credit for the first 30 days to do whatever you want in their cloud. Now, let me tell you, I've been playing around with Azure quite a bit. I've spun up a lot of resources, turned them down, and within 20 days, I've only used $5. So, oh, it's time to turn this off. Alexa said so. Alexa, stop. So for the first 30 days with Azure, you get as beefy a computer as you need, and we'll see how long that $200 lasts. Oh, it's done. And you can have your GNS3 server in the cloud, and you can access it from anywhere. So you can have a crappy little Chromebook or whatever crappy laptop you might have, and you can access your GNS3 server in the cloud, and you're not paying a dime. Now yes, there is a setup. You have to know how to do it. Hey, you're watching this video. I'm going to show you how to do it. It'll take you next to no time, just the time it takes to deploy the resources, which is no time at all. I'm excited about this because I think it's killer. It changes the game for a lot of us. Now I know some of you might come at me with an objection. Chuck, you can't use a cloud provider like AWS or Azure for GNS3 because you need nested virtualization. Well, you know what? You can do that. Didn't know that, did you? Well, some of you might have known that. And some of you have no idea what that is. Don't worry, we'll walk through this. It's real easy to set up GNS3 in the cloud, and it's gonna be fun. Now, some of you are probably thinking, well, Chuck, it's gonna take me longer than 30 days to get my CCENT or CCNA or CCNP. What happens when my free trial runs out? Hey, I get it. Once your free trial runs out, yeah, you'll lose your $200 credit, but then you can convert it to a pay-as-you-go account. Oh, let me get this. It's gonna leak all over my stuff. You convert it to a pay-as-you-go account, and you pay as you go. And really, it's not that expensive. We'll go through and look at how much it's gonna cost to run one server. And here's what's amazing about the cloud, which is why it's changing the game for everybody, is that you only pay for what you use, which means while you're labbing, yeah, you're gonna be using resources. You'll be spinning up you could be spinning up virtual machines and routers and switches, but then when you're done, you shut that sucker down. You're not being charged for those resources anymore. That's awesome. And whenever you're ready to lab up again, spin up your virtual machine in the cloud. It's incredible. I had so much fun playing with this, and I can't wait to show you how to do it. So you ready? Let's do this. Let's set up GNS3 in Microsoft Azure. Getting in CBT mode. CBT nuggets. All right, time to spin us up a GNS3 server in Azure. Now, because this is a Microsoft product, I'm just going to honor them by using the Edge browser. So I'll go ahead and spin that up. You don't have to use Microsoft Edge, but I don't know. I just do that because, hey, Microsoft, you're good guys. Anyways, first thing you'll need is an Azure account. So Azure account, I'll just type in free, and you can go to the link that comes up, and you can set up your free account. What do you get? $200 to explore Azure. Any Azure service for 30 days. I'm not going to walk you through it. I actually have a nugget on CBT Nuggets in my Cloud Concepts course if you want to check it out. It's pretty simple to set up your free account. You will need a couple things. You'll need a phone number, and this is where people get tripped up. You'll need a credit card. Now, you will not be charged. Trust me. You put your credit card information in. It's just for verification, just so they can verify you are a person and not a machine. And they will never charge you, ever, unless you tell them to. So once your free trial ends, your 30-day period ends, nothing happens. Nothing. You can, if you want, go in and change it to pay as you go. That's up to you. You have to do that. But it won't do it automatically. So don't be weirded out because you have to put in your credit card information. I did it twice. And I haven't been charged anything. So it's all good. Once you have your free account, the place to be and log in is if I spell it right, portal.azure.com. This is the account I was using for my Cloud Concepts course. For many of you, this may be strange territory. I understand. It was for me at first. Don't worry, I'm going to hold your hand, walk you through it. My goal for you today is not to know everything about Microsoft Azure and the cloud. My goal is to get you set up in GNS3 so you can start labbing right now and wherever you want to be. So let's do it. The first thing we're going to do is set up our GNS3 server in Azure. You're not going to have to do much. You're just going to copy and paste something I'm providing for you. Don't worry. So the first thing, at the top here, you'll see a little arrow and underscore for Cloud Shell. Click that. It will open up a command line for you. When you first launch it, it'll ask you to set up something. It'll be some kind of storage account for your Cloud Shell. Go ahead and do it. No worries. It's not going to hurt you. Now, my beloved Cisco peeps, I know we are at Microsoft World right now. We are using PowerShell. Don't worry. There's a script I'm including in the description. It'll either be just right there or you can download it via GitHub. Now, looking at the script, right at the top here, we have the location, user, password, credential, and domain name. There are a few things I want you to change before you deploy this because it'll be pertinent and specific to you and what you are doing. First is a location. Right now, I am in South Central US. I'm in Texas, so this is the closest data center to me. Location is important because it'll affect your latency, your performance. I encourage you to figure out your closest Azure location and input it here. It could be East US, West US, it could be somewhere in Europe, it could be anywhere, but it's important you change it here. Or you can leave it as is, that's fine too. Next is username and password. If you are not okay with it being CBT Nuggets admin and then this string right here, change it. If you are okay with it, fine. And then right here, domain name. This is the name of your server. I encourage you to change this because you might end up creating the same one as someone else. So just come in here and name it, your last name GNS3 server, whatever you want to do. So now I'm just going to take all of this stuff right here, all the way down to new AZVM, copy that, And this is PowerShell goodness. I'm just going to paste it right here. You ready? Magic is about to happen. Right click, paste. Right now, so many things are happening, it's not even funny. So once you've gotten past all the above stuff, and now enter your new AZVM, this is a command that will create your virtual machine. While it's creating, let's just chat about this. First, you can see that it's a Ubuntu server. We're setting it at a pretty big size so we can do nested virtualization. It's enabled here by default, which basically means we're virtualizing a virtual machine. Inception. But I want you to know that right now we just implemented some PowerShell in the cloud and it deployed everything we need to have a GNS3 server in the cloud. We will go through, log into the server, and add some GNS3 magic in there. We actually need to install GNS3, but this is all we need right here to set up our initial server. Okay, after it's all said and done, after it's done all its goodness, you should get a little spit out, little bleh of everything you just did. The thing I want you to do now is take your fully qualified domain name. This is actually your server's domain name that you can access. So let's take that, let's copy it, and launch your favorite SSH client. Mine is Putty. I'll put a link to download Putty in the description. With Putty launched, I'm going to paste my DNS name in there, my domain name. I'll SSH into this, click open. Whoa, security breach. Just click yes. Enter your username and password, and we're in. All right. Now, there's only one thing we have to do here. One measly thing. I want you to open up that script one more time, and this is all we're going to have to do to install GNS3. Copy from cd temp all the way down to sudo bash. Copy that. We're going to paste it and let it run. And right now you look like a complete wizard boss because the matrix is flying by your face. And you are installing GNS3 on a server in the cloud. For some of you, this might be business as usual. For others, this might be incredible. For me, it's incredible. I love this. This is so exciting. Anyways, we'll let that run and get yourself a cup of coffee. It won't take very long at all. I think it'll take just a few minutes. So I'm going to sit here, enjoy my coffee, and get back to it in a moment. Once yours is done, you should see a beautiful message that says GNS3 installed with success. And would you believe me if I told you that was it? That was all you had to do? That's crazy, right? So now let's connect to our GNS3 server. You want to do that? Okay, no reason to keep this thing open. We'll just close that. Yes, I want to close it. We'll get back to our portal in Azure. We can minimize our PowerShell, our Cloud Shell stuff. Pay no attention here. I was just messing with something earlier. You should be at a dashboard like this. Now, what I want you to do is on the left here, you'll see something called resource groups. Click that. These are like little containers that contain all the resources we just created, like your server you just made. So the one we created was GNS3. Jump in there, and you'll see a list of everything you just deployed with that script we ran, the PowerShell script. Now, just while we're here, this is so cool. You'll notice that with cloud providers, especially Azure, they kind of piecemeal everything. Everything's an individual resource. You have your network we created. You can actually take a look at that deeper if you want. We have the server, public IP address, security group, which functions the same way as a firewall or really closely to an access control list, the network interface card, and then the disk where the operating system is stored. If you want to learn more about the cloud, you can play with all this stuff, and I encourage you to check out my course. However, you don't have to play with anything. You can just jump into the virtual machine, which is right here, GNS3 Server. You'll see your DNS name right here. Just copy that bad boy. So if you haven't already, you need to install GNS3. Just go to gns3.com, click on download. You'll need an account, and then click download to download the latest version. Go through the setup process, pretty standard setup. So right now you're setting up a local GNS3 client that will then connect to your GNS3 server in the cloud. Once you're finished, go ahead and let GNS3 start by checking that box, and we are off to the races. It's going to give you at first launch a few options. The one we want is run everything on a remote server. That's what we're doing. Click next. You're going to put in the DNS name of your cloud server. Calm down. In the host portion, and you could enable authentication, but right now we don't have that set up. If you're following my steps, you don't have it set up right now, so don't worry. We'll click next, and we'll click finish. You'll notice right over here under server summary, we already see that it is connected, and it's monitoring the CPU and RAM of our server in the cloud. That is so intense, so exciting. Now at this point you could import any appliance or iOS images you have. I have a portable file I'm going to load up. Which, if you don't know what a portable file is, it's a great way to transfer your GNS3 projects between GNS3 servers. Awesome. Anyways, I'm going to do File, Import Portable Project, which will have all my images and stuff. And it's importing. It's loading my huge file with all my images to my cloud server. I'm going to make this go fast. No, it'll take longer in real life, unless your internet connection is insane. Okay, my portable file is uploaded. You can see right here I've got 2 routers. Actually, I've got 1 router, and I've got 1 switch. Both of these are viral images, which require nested virtualization. I'm about to demonstrate that it actually works. So I'll right-click this guy, click Start. No errors. I'll do the same thing for my router. Right-click, Start. Now this won't be a, how to use GNS3 type video. That's pretty involved. If you need to learn more about GNS3, you can go to GNS3.com. They have a ton of stuff. Or you can go to my friend David Bomble's YouTube channel. He has a whole series of videos on how to use GNS3. It's awesome. But I do want to show you a few things. Just want to demonstrate that it works because it's amazing. I'm going to double click my switch here to connect. It should launch the default, which is Solar Putty. Such a cool addition to GNS3. I mean, you guys are on fire. So it's still booting up. I'll go ahead and launch my router as well by double clicking. It should launch within a tab in Solar Putty. So I'll give that a moment to finish booting up. These guys do take a bit of time. And while we're waiting on that, have you heard of mine and David Bomble's new show? It's called This Is IT. It's a show about, well, IT, information technology, and we're not just talking about Cisco and networking, we're talking about everything. In fact, we just dropped a video today featuring Stuart from DevNet. You might know him as Big Evil Beard, and it was really awesome. And we also have the first episode that was just me and David the week before. So check it out. I'll put a thing up here and then also in the link below. Go subscribe to the This Is IT channel, follow us on the socials, and let us know what you think. All right, back to GNS3. All right, a quick Swift Enter key showed me it's working. Awesome. Let's do a show IP, blah, blah, blah. I always mess that up. Let's do a show IP interface brief. Oh, that just makes me want to cry. Let's do it over here. Show IP interface brief. Oh, yes, I love it. This is so awesome. Let's connect these 2 bad boys together just for fun. So let's go to our connector over here. Connect that to port GI00. GI00, which stands for Gigabit Interface 00. Let's get back into our Solar Putty. And right now the interfaces are administratively down. Let's bring those up and give them some IP addresses. So I'll do interface GI00. Oh, I got an email. I'm going to do a no shut. I'm going to do an IP address 10.0.0.1. Awesome. Let's go to our switch. Interface GI00. Let's put him in routed mode by doing no switch port. Give him an IP address 10.0.0.2. And don't think I didn't forget. No shut. Now let's see if we can ping our router. Ping 10.0.0.1. Beautiful! Does anyone else just get like so happy when you see a successful ping? It's the best thing in the world. Let's do it again. I want full 5.5. All right. So that's GNS3 in the cloud. It's amazing. But don't go away just yet. I'm going to show you a few things in Azure to make sure you maximize the use of your resources. So let's go there real quick. So let's jump back into our Azure portal, portal.azure.com. Go ahead and click the resource groups on the far left over here under your favorites. Jump back into your GNS3 resource group and select the virtual machine GNS3 Server. This is the guy you're connecting to. This is where your routers and switches are living right now. It's amazing. But you don't want to have it running while you're not using it because, again, it's a pay-as-you-go system. Right now it's using my free tier, but when my 30 days is over and I convert it to pay-as-you-go, it's going to charge me money. So you want me to show you how hard it is to do this? Watch this. Stop. Are you sure you want to stop it? Yes. And it stops your GNS3 server. I'll wait for it to stop here. Click refresh up here. Now notice under the status, it's saying deallocating. That's important. You want to make sure that when it's all said and done, it says deallocated. Because that means the resources are no longer provisioned to you. You're no longer being charged for them, which is what you want. Now notice the size of this virtual machine. 4 virtual CPUs and 16 gigs of memory. That's a pretty beefy guy. I don't think you're going to have any problems running most of your topologies here. But if you do have an issue, you need more stuff, you can scale this guy up if you want. You can add more resources. Yes, it will cost you more money. But tell you what, it sure beats going out and buying a physical server, buying this huge thing. It's kind of hard to, sell that to your significant other. Hey, honey, I'm going to go buy a $500 server so I can run pretend routers and switches. It's kind of hard to sell that. But this is pay-as-you-go. It's like Netflix. You're just paying a monthly thing, and once you get past the free trial, remember, so it's the upfront cost you're avoiding, which is so cool. You're not having to drop a ton of cash right up front. It's amazing for a lab. Amazing. All right, so this is taking forever. Just know that when it's done, it will say deallocated. When I want to lab up some more stuff, I come back into my Azure portal, go to my virtual machine, which you can just go up here and type in GNS3, and it'll take you right to it. There's my server right there. And when I want to lab, I start it up and I start labbing again. When I'm done, I shut it down. They also have a pretty cool auto shutdown feature if you want to use that, which it will shut down your virtual machine automatically at a certain time you set. I prefer to do it manually, but it might be nice to have that just in case you forget. You might have like at 12 a.m. to shut it down. All right, guys, that was setting up a GNS3 server in Azure, a cloud provider. That, I think, is amazing. Now, it may not be for you. I get it. But if you need to lab up some stuff, and maybe it's just a temporary thing you want to lab, you could easily spin this up, just following my instructions, and have something up and running within a few minutes. Maybe 10 to 15 minutes, depending on how fast you are. Now, another cool thing is that if your company already uses Azure, you could say, hey, boss man, I need to lab up because I'm studying for my CCENT, CCNA, CCNP, whatever. Can I just deploy this server, have it auto shut down when I'm not using it? That's kind of an easier sell than saying, hey, can I buy a server so I can lab? Can I buy a bigger computer so I can lab? That's kind of a harder sell, right? But anyways, I encourage you to try it out, just to get your feet wet with something in the cloud, because it's fun. I mean, just you get a free lab for 30 days. You can't beat that. And you get a little bit of cloud experience to boot. And you have an amazing lab that you can take with you anywhere. It's a win-win-win-win-win. If you try it out, let me know how it works below. And you might be wondering, why did you choose Azure versus the other guys like AWS or Google Cloud? Well, I'm studying Azure right now. I'm actually creating a course on CBT Nuggets for Microsoft Azure. The AZ900, there's some of it already up on CBT Nuggets, so go check it out at the link below if you want to learn more about this, if you want to go further down this rabbit hole, because it's the future, man. It really is. And I'll be producing the AZ100 course for that exam, which is pretty awesome too. I get really excited and hyper when I have coffee, and I always have coffee, so I'm always like this. Anyways, guys, thanks so much for watching. If you want to see more stuff like this, let me know. If you haven't already, click subscribe, like this video if you liked it, and I encourage you to go check out mine and David Bomble's new channel, This is IT, where we discuss all things IT. Oh, and by the way, did you hear that CBT Nuggets reduced their subscription price? It used to be somewhere around like $80 a month, which I know is expensive for a lot of people, but they lowered that price to $59 a month, which is a game changer. The amount of value you get from CBT Nuggets for that price, and I'm not just saying this because I have nuggets on there, I have courses on there. No, I'm a longtime user of CBT Nuggets. It's how I got my start. It's how I got my CCNA. It's how I got my CCNA voice. I owe a large part of my career to CBT Nuggets. So the fact that it's cheaper than ever is amazing. Oh my gosh. So 7-day free trial, you can check it out, and then $59 a month. That's awesome. So anyways, guys, that's about it. I'll catch y'all later.